Hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. I am recording a few episodes today, and I just listened to part of the last one that I recorded, so last week's, and it sounded like absolute shit. I have a $200 mic, and it still sounds like shit. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know if I talk too close to it, but the way that my stand is and everything, I'm like, I have to talk close to it. And it's so crazy because when I first started this podcast, I started with a little mic that plugged into my phone and recorded it straight on my phone, and that sounded better than the quality of this fucking $200 mic. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I've switched from Zoom to this high end studio that's supposed to reduce the noise and the echo and make it sound better, and I listen to it, I'm like, it sounds like shit. It sounds like I literally am just talking right into my computer speaker. So I apologize. I'm doing everything that I possibly can to figure it out, and I'm gonna try this episode to talk a little bit further away from the mic and not scream right into it. So we'll see if that works, and we'll just keep refining from there. But before we dive into this week's episode, I want to again invite you to my free nutrition blind spot challenge. This is happening as a reminder throughout the entire month of November. This is for the woman who every year, as fall, winter season approaches, she finds herself getting knocked off track, and she's tempted by the comfort foods. She tends to overindulge at holidays, leaving her feeling just bloated and sluggish and and this fall, she wants to do things differently. She is craving a season where she can enjoy the festive treats and the yumminess, but in a balanced way. And she really wants to feel energized and light and embrace all of the fun fall activities without guilt, without shame, and is ready for a change and is looking for a supportive, engaging challenge and community to help her become her healthiest, happiest self and have the best, healthiest, happiest season yet. And so, if you are in the place where you're a female, you want meal prep to feel fun and almost romantic rather than overwhelming and chore like, and you want your nutrition to be simple, something that's under 20, 30 minutes, but not boring like chicken and rice. And you want to be able to indulge in comfort foods without the post meal bloat. You want healthy eating to feel fun and flavorful, not bland and tasteless. Then this is the freaking challenge for you. Another reminder, it is free to join, free monetarily, but the cost is you have to invite a female friend. So that could be a friend, a coworker, a family member, somebody in your life. And the reasoning behind this is community is huge. So the free built-in community that you get, great accountability, but what's even better accountability is having somebody that you know closely in this shit with you, doing it by your side. So, if you are interested, you want to join, I know at this point, by the time this podcast comes out, we're probably about halfway through November, but hey, you know what? There's still at least 5 trainings left. And so the way that it works is there's mini trainings throughout the month, 2 to 3 each week. And you'll have an action step at the end of each of those trainings. And you'll post into the group for accountability. And it's a fun little fire lit under your ass, especially nutrition. It's one of the topics that is always so overwhelming to people. So grab a partner, and I will link my DM or my Instagram below. Shoot me a DM. We'll say nutrition challenge, and I will send over the link. So this week on this episode, I want to talk about what we all want out of life. And that is joy. It is happiness, it is joy, it is good feelings. And a lot of times we think, right, the reason why we gun for the money and the body and the relationship is because we think those things, right, that they bring us a certain feeling. They bring us joy, they bring us happiness, they bring us excitement. It's exciting to make money, it's exciting to get that dream body, it's exciting to be in love. But what I find starts to happen is we grind so hard towards the money, the body. We try so hard to find the love of our life and the relationship. We're going on date after date after date that we stop finding the joy in those things. my God, I'm talking so close to the microphone. And screaming. Um, we grind so hard trying to make the money, trying to get the overtime at the job. We grind so hard, we restrict our calories and we push our bodies to the absolute limit, that we stop finding joy in the things that the reason why we're doing them is for the joy. We lose the joy in the things that are supposed to bring us joy. So what I want you this is an activity that I did the other day, is how I want you to ask yourself, how would you live your life if you knew that you only had 6 months left to live? And this can really, really, really help to put things into perspective, because life, it can be a lot. It can feel like a lot. Our passions can feel like a lot. Maintaining our health, it can all feel like a lot. Like, let's just be honest. Let's just be real and authentic here, instead of putting this like perfect, pretty mask on for social media. Like, it's a lot. Life is a lot. Every single day is a lot. And even I have these naughty little thoughts where I'm like, maybe I could just quit everything that I'm doing, all the podcasts and the social media and the clients and everything, and maybe I could just go and like get a sales job. That I will tell you, that thought lasts about 2 minutes, and I'm like, who the fuck do I think I am? No, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. But I do have these naughty little thoughts. I have naughty little thoughts of maybe I should just move home and follow the straight and narrow and get a house down the block from my parents and go to the corner bar and just readopt my high school friends and just start popping out kids and like follow what society tells me to do. That thought also lasts about -5 seconds, and then I'm like, no thank you. But the thought is there sometimes. I do have the naughty little thoughts of maybe I should just hunker down and save all my money and not spend any of it and never travel, and I'll travel when I'm 65 and I can enjoy it then. But then I think, okay, if I only had 6 months left to live and I knew that, would I quit my job and get a sales? Would I quit being an entrepreneur? Would I quit my absolute passion to get a sales job and get that quick win, right? Like, money, I will tell you, money in a sales job, lot fucking easier to make than doing the shit that I do day after day after day after day. Anybody who tells you that like being a coach, oh, you're just in it for the money, fuck no, I would never be putting myself through this if it was just for the money. If it was just for the money, I would go and get that fucking sales job and mop up, okay? Like, it's the simplicity, the quick win, right? The dopamine hit that your brain wants, but it's like, okay, I'm so close to this fucking microphone again. Oh my gosh. If I were to know, right, I'm dying in 6 months, how would I truly live my life? It would not be grinding my life away at a sales job. It would be screaming from the top of the mountain everything that all the skills and knowledge that I've acquired over my 26 years of life almost, and screaming and like telling people, right? I would use those 6 months as a journey, as a transformation, and as I'm on my deathbed, hoping to inspire people, because that is what I want out of my life. I want all of us to fucking thrive and live the best lives that we possibly can. I think that's what life is about, is figuring out what life is about and sharing it and coming together as a collective. So when I think about that, like if I had 6 months to live, no, I wouldn't be grinding my life away trying to make quick money. I would be living out my passion, living out my purpose, right? And same thing, like if I had 6 months to live, would I move home and pop out kids and follow the straight and narrow? No, I would be freaking, yes, I'd probably be around family a bit more. I would fly home more. This was a thought that I had. I wasn't going to fly home for Thanksgiving and just Christmas. And then I thought about this and I'm like, well, if I only had 6 months to live, I would probably fly home for Thanksgiving. So maybe I should. Yes, I would probably see family more. I would not just follow the straight and narrow, because that makes me want to puke. I would be traveling the freaking world, living my life to the absolute max fullest. Hunkering down and not traveling until I'm 65, saving every single dollar that I make, right? Not spending any of it. No, if I had 6 months left to live, let's be honest, I'd probably blow all of it. No, just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But I would definitely not let I wouldn't live until I'm 65. So there would be no possibility of like, oh, I'll do it later. It's like, no, whatever I want to do, I'm doing it now. And so when you start to frame your life in this way of like, what if I always ask myself too when I get into an extremely like overstimulated, anxious state, is like, if I were to die tomorrow, would I be worried about this? If I knew 24 hours from now I was going to die, like whatever it is that I'm worried about, in my business or with my health or with my family, like if I knew I was dying in 24 hours, would it be that big of a deal? No. If it's no, then there's no need to piss away any precious time worrying about it. So I am I am starting a Summer's Life manual. And this is, if anybody has ADHD, so I'm not diagnosed, but I am so close to going into the doctor and getting a diagnosis. Not like I don't think I would ever take Adderall or Ritalin or anything like that, but just to know, like sometimes it's good just to like know, okay, this is why I am the way that I am. So I am so curious because my mom has an extremely strong case of it, and I know that it gets passed down. So I have a very strong inkling that I am an ADHD queen. And so this idea came to me the other day. I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you why. So Summer's Life manual. I feel like I have anxiety. Last episode, I talked about anxiety, and I feel like I have anxiety, but the anxiety always roots from the things that I know I should be getting done, but I'm not getting done because I'm too busy hyperfixating on something different. With anybody that has ADHD understands that. I'm going to say it again. I have anxiety, but a majority, like 95% of the anxiety that I feel and the worry that I feel, it always roots from the things that I know I should be doing, I should be getting done, I should be checking off my list. But I'm too busy hyper fixating on something different, on something that has nothing to do with anything that I'm supposed to be doing. I constantly lose track of time. Like days will go by and I'm like, whoa, where did all that time go and what did I even get done? Did I even do anything? I don't even know. And having, this one's big, having a million different ideas that take me in a million different directions every single day. Like, especially when it comes to my business, I'm like, oh yeah, we're going this route one day. And then the next day, I'm like, no, this route, this route, this route, this route. And my mind is like, what the fuck? Why can't I just pick one thing? Why can't I just be like these other coaches who seem like they have it so fucking together and know exactly like what they're saying and why they're saying it? And then there's me where I'm like showing up and I'm talking about my wrinkles one day and then loving your body the next and then this and that and all over the place and like your period the next day, and it's like, what the fuck, get it together. And so me, right now on my desk, I have about 4 different notebooks. I have 10, probably 12 different single sheets of paper, fully written on, fully like if you're on YouTube, you can see like both sides, like single sheets of paper all over the place, and a million different notebooks scattered and like almost like hidden. Like I had to go as I was writing up this episode and coming up with examples, I had to go and like find my notebooks because they were fucking shoved places like a little chipmunk. And I come up with these really good ideas and these thoughts that are like groundbreaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to remember this. Like I'll reread what I wrote like a month ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I need to remember that. Like if I could just remember that every day, I would be so well off. And then the fucking notebook gets lost again, and I don't find it for another year. And so I come up with these good ideas, these thoughts, and then lose them, and then I feel like almost like I'm starting over every day. And I feel like this is gonna sounds so crazy to someone. Maybe I don't have ADHD. Like maybe I should probably just go in and get diagnosed so I know that I'm not just crazy. But like please, somebody, if you're listening to this and you have ADHD and you relate to me, please let me know if this is you, if this is normal. Or maybe you have something else that maybe I am just crazy, but sometimes it literally feels like that. Like I'll have groundbreaking ideas. I'm like, yes. And then the next day I'm like, what what was I talking about? I don't even know. And so I'm gonna write this manual. I'm gonna call it my life manual. And I want to create it to remind myself of all the things that I need to remember each morning, and that really helped me. So I'm gonna scrub. I'm gonna go out. Guess what? I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna buy myself another notebook. I'm gonna buy myself another notebook. Not like I need another one, but I'm gonna go buy myself one that is designated. It is my life's manual, Summer's life manual. And I'm gonna scrub all of these notebooks that I have all over the place and all of these loose sheets of paper. And I'm going to almost like I almost call it like a Bible too. Like this is what I'm going to live my life by. These are the goals that I have right now, and I need to remind myself of them every single day. So I have some examples. Like I said, I found some of my some of my many notebooks that I have scattered, and I came up with some examples of the things that I'm going to write in there. One of them being the fact that you're able to worry about the past or the future is proof that now is okay. If a tiger was eating you, there you wouldn't have any time or energy to sit and worry. And so this worrying, right? We worry out of fear for our future, fear, shame and guilt from our past, right? But the ability to even sit and do that, it's proof that now is okay. Nothing has the power to make you unhappy. The only way is thinking that I want life to be different. Numbers may excite me, but they do not define me or my success. That's a Miley Cyrus quote. Fucking love her. Action is how we live. Inaction is how we stay dead. Suffering is a choice. Full fucking send life today. So those are a few of some of the examples of things that, again, they're so grounding to me, to remind myself like each morning. The fact that you're even able to worry is proof that now is okay. That's so grounding to me and gets me into this like energy. Some of the other ones are like my goals in business, like truly reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's hard out here. It is so hard out here. Like the way that I describe coaching is not only like imagine imagine everything that you're going through in life, right? And all of the feelings that you're feeling. And now imagine trying to handle and guide 15 plus more of you, and being semi responsible for those people's results and like how they show up. Like that's what's really tough, and that's what we're getting real and vulnerable here, everybody, but that's what I sometimes struggle with is like other businesses, like let's say a product business, right? All that you have to worry about is selling that product, delivering that product, and making sure that that product is the best thing ever. When it comes to, or even like a service, right? Like I think of Logan and his landscaping. All that is you have to show up, sell the landscaping, do the landscaping, make sure that the landscaping is top tier and you get a good review. When it comes to coaching, yes, you need a top tier product, you need a top tier program, you need to give top tier attention to your clients. But then on top of it, you also are, again, with coaching, it's not like I'm there dragging people out of bed. Like that's not what I'm there for. But you are in charge of not only the program and the plan that you provide and the lessons that you provide and making sure that those are top tier, but then making sure that you're setting a structure in place and that those people then are following through with the plan. So like I'm not only responsible for me and my products, but also how these people use those products and making sure that they use them accordingly so that they can get the results. So it's like I'm in charge of other people's behaviors almost. And that adds a whole layer of fuckery. I don't even know how we got here, but what the fuck was I even talking about? Whatever. So a lot of times, right, we set these, oh yeah, it was business. So business intentions. Like why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I choosing one of the hardest fucking professions that there are? Maybe not hardest, like doctors. Doctors know a lot, but it's a lot mentally, it's a lot energetically. Like I have to truly protect my peace. I have to make sure that I am a complete embodiment of the things that I teach, because if not, I'm going to fucking wake up feeling like a fraud every single day. So there's a lot that plays into it. And so this life manual, not only is it right focusing on myself, but it's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Like when you go out and you become an entrepreneur, or you go out and you start this health and fitness journey, or you go out and, you know, start prioritizing yourself, it's a lot. And so I think having a place where you show up each morning, almost like you would study your Bible, right? Like you show up and read your Bible each morning, do that, but then also pull out your life's manual and study that bitch. So a lot of times we set these new goals or these intentions for life, and they last what, like a week, and then we get triggered, something happens, we write those goals down in the notebook or the sheet of paper, and then we lose it. And so I think this life's manual, it's a good way to keep that shit at the top of your mind. How good of an idea is this? This is going to be the start of my book, because I'm going to write a book eventually, mark my words. And let's say I get to like, oh, look at, I'm catching myself, I'm like, get to 65 and then I'll start writing it. Well, if I only had 6 months to live, would I be writing it when I'm 65 or now? Okay, looks like I'm writing a book. Looks like I'm starting the fucking framework for a book. But that's what I was thinking of, is like, think about living your life. And this is so cool because everybody's lives and everybody's book would look so different. Like the tools that I use versus you use. Write a book. Do this with me. Do this with me. So start a life manual for yourself, and then we'll turn it into our individual books that will all help each other. Amazing. So back to dying. How would you live differently than you do now? Would you work as much as you do? Would you really let that one coworker get that under your skin? Would you spend it pissed off, crabby, sad, pitying yourself? Or would you live it the fuck up? Would you do more of what you love and less of the things that drain you? Would you show up to things you feel like you're too busy for right now? I want you to sit and brainstorm what your life needs more of. I did this the other day. The seasons are changing. Well, they have changed. There's snow out my window and 2 feet of it. Probably more than that now. I don't even know where the fuck I was going with this. The seasons are changing, and and oh, my brain. This is my ADHD brain, you guys. It's like, what the fuck? So the seasons are changing. That in itself, I think, really like knocks my energy off. It just does. And so a lot of times too in the winter, you're like cooped up inside, right? And so this was something that I did the other day where I asked myself, I'm like, what does my life need more of? If I'm feeling kind of like last week's episode, if I'm feeling blah, what do I need more of? So what does your life need more of for real joy? Not the type that feeds your ego, not the more monster, more money, more grind, more success. I need to blah, blah, blah. But like, if you knew you're dying in 6 months and you wanted to live the last 6 months of your life just the absolute most joyous person, feeling so good inside every day, what would you need to introduce more of? So I came up with kind of a brainstorm list the other day of like, okay, I got the work side down. I got the fitness and nutrition side down. I got even the relationship down. Like, we're good. We're solid. There's a few things I would add in there. But what do I crave more of that maybe I haven't been making the time for, but it would feel really, really good. So for me, it's in-person community and connection. So that looks like I just passed. I've been watching church online, but I think I'm gonna start. I just passed one that's down the road from my apartment. So I'm gonna start going. That's like non-negotiable every week in person. More family. Like I said, go home for Thanksgiving possibly. More friends, more networking. So making plans with friends and then going to networking events. That is something that I absolutely want to do. I want to find more hungry females, more entrepreneurs, more people that just fucking get it. Spontaneous fun date nights. This is something that I just like, I expect Logan to just pick up this skill and like do it. I like plan it. And he's just not that type of person. He's never been that type of person. And so it's like if he's not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna plan the spontaneous date night for him. And I'm gonna make it happen. And then maybe he'll pick up on it, right? Like maybe he'll learn a thing or two and he'll start doing it. Who knows? Um, happy music, dancing, moving, again, romanticizing my life, right where it's at instead of always more, more, more. I love like the classic music. I've been listening to like 50s, 60s, 70s, so fun. Creativity, painting, crafts. I've been really wanting to do like a pottery class or a pottery painting class recently. Um, I whipped out my, not crocheting, what's the thing where you with the needle and the string and yeah, embroidery. I whipped that out again last night. Um, Mini trips. So I don't love doing like month-long trips or even 2-week long trips anymore. Um, but I was thinking like, okay, it's fucking snowing here. It's cold and I have the freedom to travel, but a lot of times I use the excuse like, oh, I'm too busy. Oh, this and that, and I'm allocating my money in other places and blah blah blah. Um, but it's like I love warm weather. I think it would be good for me, for business, for my own creativity to get out and do something crazy. So maybe plan in December or January like a cute little mini trip somewhere. Cute hairstyles. I just if you're on YouTube, you can see my cute little bun. This was a new one. This is a new one that I'm trying. But that makes, it's like, it's cute little ways to romanticize your life. Outfits, like actually getting fucking dressed for the day, not just wearing sweatpants. Meditation, slowing down. Again, this like morning grounding and tuning into more me and less other people. So I'm doing a mini little social media cleanse. I deleted Instagram and I'm going to keep it deleted just for a few days where I'm like, I just want to tune into, I love podcasting. This is a space where I can just dump my mind, hopefully you don't mind. And really just leaning into my communities outside of Instagram. If you join the nutrition challenge, you'll be able to join my free community. That's fun. And then talking more just about my personal experiences. I think I get so caught up when it comes to social media with like strategy and what am I supposed to do and what are other people doing and like what makes me happy and feels really good is to just go out, live my life, and then talk about my life and talk about the lessons that I've learned and talk about it in a way that can help all of you. And that's what feels best to me. So I want you to write a list for your daily life manual. What is it that, again, number one, let's recap. Number one, in this manual, we want to touch on The things that keep you grounded, like, what are some resources or, like, one-liners, like, whether you scroll Pinterest and, like, find inspirational quotes or read books and write things down, or if you're listening to this podcast and you hear me say something, like, the fact that you're able to worry about the past or the future is proof that you're okay now. Like, if that really resonates with you, put that in your daily life manual, your daily Bible. Life Bible. I don't know. Is that I don't know if that's like wrong. Like maybe we shouldn't call it that. I don't know. Call it whatever the fuck you want. How about that? um but so we're going to put that in there, and then we're also going to put a list of activities that are going to bring more joy to your life. And then we're all going to start writing books. These are all going to become books of our lives, and we're all going to help each other. So I know my first thing in this manual is I'm gonna write down, we are writing a book so that I don't forget that idea a week from now. Okay, let's do one last little recap. So we all want joy, right? And we're all striving for money, body, love, because that brings us joy, or we think it does. But a lot of times we grind so hard towards the money, body, joy that we stop finding joy in money, body, love, that we stop finding joy in the process. And so what I want you to start doing is how can we bring that joy to the process? And one of the best ways to do that is to ask yourself, if I knew that I only had 6 months to live, how would I be living my life? Right? Would I be chasing different passions? Would I really be pissed off all the time? Or would I be loving my life? Write up your daily life manual, put down the things that ground you, the things that you want to remind yourself of, your goals for this season of life that can always change. You can always scribble those out and edit. And ask yourself again, like, if you knew that you were dying, would you really be working as much as you do? Would you really put that much pressure on yourself to succeed? Would you really let the comments of your coworker bug you that much? Or right, would you spread more love? Would you spread more positivity? Would you hang out with your friends and your family more and start to do that and think about the things in life that truly, truly, truly bring you joy, and start to live your life